Welcome everyone to the Enlightenment Show. Finally, the Enlightened One. Whoever the hell this guy is over here, I don't know who he is. Hey, you did not give me the finger. I give you the finger. Yeah. Welcome to Wrestling with the Paranormal. And if you don't like it, you can kiss my ass. I'm sorry, hairball. Hairball.
You know, I think the Enlightened One's getting a bit angry.
The Enlightened One, he's a cranky son of a bitch, I tell you what. Welcome to Wrestling with the Paranormal. I am one of your hosts. I'm that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada Dry, damn it.
And of course, every paranormal show's got to have a magician. That is me, of course. And this is the Paranormal Show, made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans.
Now, I heard rumors about you.
Music.
You know, you need to remind me of these things, so that's good.
Is this camera playing up again? Jesus Christ, here we go again. We're 1 minute 38 in, and we're already screwing up on the camera. Here we go again.
I was able to turn the music off, though.
That's something.
So, I heard a rumor about... Oh, son of a...
Maybe you should not talk about the rumor. Then we'll be good. Plain and simple. Is it really going to be one of them episodes?
A whole other episode. If this happens again, I'm reloading. You're just going to have to. And hello to Joseph Graham.
What's going on, Joseph?
And hello to our friend Noob. How's it going, Noob?
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, so if this camera goes off again, I'm gonna reload the whole thing. You're just gonna have to hold up the fort while I fix the issue.
Okay, so what's this rumor?
I heard a rumor that you've got some magic tricks in the toolbox, kind of thing.
Well, so you kind of responded to the image I posted on Twitter, I think it was this week, which said 2023.
Yes,
that is correct. So I can actually announce that I am working on some new material, which will be released next year. I'm not going to tell you anything else because that's going to be a surprise.
That's gonna be fun. We're always, we got to have some more magic on this show. Just saying, a little bit more magic on this show. Less creepiness, more magic. That's all I'm saying.
This show is magical, though, right? You've got a magician on it.
Yeah, but you need some action from the magician. That's all I'm saying. So what else we got today? What else we got today?
Well, let's head to the effing galaxy, shall we? What's going on in the thingy? Have you got a little clip to play?
Well, I guess I do. And we're
sweet.
We're clipping off.
I love that voiceover work. So let's what's been going off? So we've got a latest batch of AEW signings.
Well, so let's start off with this story. Malachi Black.
Oh, yes.
What's happening with Malachi Black?
Well, this is interesting because obviously while we was doing the notes for the show, approximately 15 minutes before we were due to go live, he posted a little vignette video, and apparently they've all posted something. So
we've got Malachi Black's that he posted. Is this to Instagram or to Twitter?
It's on both.
Okay, so let's play this clip for everyone.
Wow, I absolutely love that.
It's
Do you
only
know what?
it's only a few seconds.
Yeah, they're all obviously around that time frame as well. But it's, let's be honest. Have you missed Malachi Black on AEW?
I have. I absolutely love this guy. Um, if there's one guy I would want to have beers with in AEW, it's Malachi Black.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, he was
On
taking
this topic, who would you have beers with?
I would have to say Malachi Black as well. I think he just seems like a genuine nice guy, straight down to earth. But the thing is, obviously, I do hope, obviously, he's well. Obviously, took some time away from to focus on his health. And yes, I cannot wait for him to come back.
Absolutely. Okay, now, what were you going to say before I rudely interrupted you?
You,
Bad
nev-
Canada Dry.
you never interrupt a magician. Remember that.
Never.
So, latest batch of AW signings. So this includes Bandito, The Kingdom, and apparently Juice Robinson. Now, obviously the Bandito one, we've seen a lot of reports. The Kingdom one's a lot. However, the Juice Robinson one, it's only been reported by PW Insider. So it's with that one's, it's still a bit of a gospel one. But what do you reckon to these?
I got in trouble from our resident salty bastard, Alex Haney.
Oh dear, what's he done there?
I said, wouldn't that be fun? Juice Robinson versus freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy? He's like, I hate you. Over that lovely comment I had. Just, do I deserve the hate for that?
Dear. But you know what? Is it a good signing for AEW? I mean, the guys, I think he's a good talent.
Okay, let's not just Juice Robinson, but let's talk about all these guys. Let's go over it. We got the Kingdom.
I'm a huge fan of the Kingdom. I mean, Matt Taven's probably one of my favorite wrestlers.
It's like, is this just getting ready for Ring of Honor, or what is this happening? Like, it's not enough TV time for everyone.
That is true. Obviously, with the reports that obviously in 2023, Ring of Honor is going to have a weekly show. Do we see a lot of the talent working on Ring of Honor? Who knows?
So, the Kingdom, Bandito, they all seem like Ring of Honor signings, right?
Yeah, probably the Juice Robinson one, though. I think that'll be on, obviously, AEW, but yeah. I can think of a lot to go to Ring of Honor, but hey, we'll have to wait and see, right?
I've heard, what's the woman's name in the Kingdom?
Maria Kanellis.
I heard she's a bit of a genius when it comes to booking and women's storylines.
Yes, so, and obviously she did a lot with the women's division in Ring of Honor, so this could be interesting.
Noob says, Bandito is all elite. I can't wait to see him in action.
He put on a good match against Jericho, I just want to say, by the way.
Yeah, some wrestlers, they need to talk. But some wrestlers, their action does all the talking, right?
That is true. That is true. I think that's well said there, by the way.
What else we got?
Well, so a good AEW women's talent known as Britt Baker was on Swerve's podcast. Now, she made some pretty interesting comments. So, Britt Baker names toxic traits she hates in the AEW locker room. So, I'm just going to quote what she says. What's so toxic is when somebody thinks they're bigger than the company, Baker said, or that the company needs them. They're literally no one in AEW they do need. Everyone can be replaced. Pretty interesting comments there. What do you think?
Who is she talking about? Like, is she speaking about somebody specifically, or is she just...
I think she's talking about somebody. I think she's talking about the person we'll talk about next, but we'll leave it on that one.
Well, I think you're right. I think she's right, and saying it the way she said it is perfectly fine, because I think you have to come in humble.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to be humble. We talked about Bret Hart last week and how he didn't want his own dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone deserved his own dressing room, it's Bret.
Yeah, absolutely. But he didn't want it.
But he was not interested in that. And that's something refreshing that, everyone can kind of look at a guy the way Bret held himself and trying to model himself after guys like that. Not just Bret, but, there's guys that held themselves a certain way. And, I guess Vince McMahon always said it. You can't be believing your own hype.
That is true. Well said. And I kind of agree with that.
So what do we got now? We got something on. You mentioned someone that she might have been talking about.
Yes, we'll end on that one, but obviously we've got a few more stories to
Okay,
talk about.
I thought that would be a good segue.
Oh well, we can go to that one if you want. Now,
Yeah.
okay, we'll go to that little person. We'll switch it around a little bit. Thunder Rosa fires back at critics. Now, obviously, she's become under a lot of scrutiny over the past weeks. Now, again, I've got the quote here. Let me just find out. Now, this is what Thunder Rosa says. I am still hurt. They haven't given me time yet when I'm coming back. I'm saying it's in January. I hope it is January. And again, if Tony Storm disagrees with that with what decided on is in the back, then that's not my problem. When I get better, I will still be the champion if my boss lets me be the champion. If he doesn't, I'll be okay with that decision too, because I don't want to make the rules, and that needs to be said. So she's come back fighting a little bit there.
Okay. Fair enough. You're injured. That much is clear. She's not making it up. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we agree with that?
Yeah, I think absolutely.
Okay. But here's my issue with you, Thunder Rosa.
Ooh.
My issue is this. Is when Bret Hart beat Mr. Perfect for that Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Perfect had probably the same injury that you have right now. His back was fucked up. And you know what he did? He did the job for Bret. And you know what Bret says to this day? He says that Mr. Perfect didn't have to do that for me. But in all respect to Mr. Perfect, he knew what it meant to me and he knew what it meant to the show. So he put his own needs ahead and dealt with that injury right after he did the job for Bret Hart.
Absolutely.
And I think had Thunder done that, she did the one show. She just needed to do one show, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I don't know how long these matches are, but around that, she could have taken time off after losing the belt to her friend.
Absolutely. So it's a pretty interesting story. But the question I've got is, how long do you keep it before you have to say, no, hang on a minute, she's been out too long?
Yeah, that's the problem with the interim title, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that you have to make some ground rules for that.
Yep, absolutely. So, I mean, how long has she been injured now? It's a few months.
It's been before All Out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So she's still injured a while. She said January at least. That's what, 4 or 5 months at least. To me, there's got to be, like you just said there's got to be some ground.
And the problem with this is now Tony Storm's whole run is interim champion.
But to be honest, let's be honest. Do you prefer Tony's run or do you prefer Thunder's?
It's too hard to say on Tony Storm's run because it's just she's only had it a couple months, but Thunder's run. I don't know if she got heat after she won the title because her momentum as soon as she got that belt went. Yeah. While she was chasing that belt, she was white hot, or at least red hot.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, she said January. Will it be January? We shall definitely see, but that's all we can say on that one, unfortunately.
All right, what we got next?
Carl Anderson. Now, obviously, there's a nice little dispute with New Japan over I think it's the Never Openweight Championship. Have I said that right?
Yes.
Now
there is a GIF of Homer Simpson driving a little car, burning a bridge. Have you seen that one?
I have.
Yes, that one reminds me of Carl Anderson.
Yeah, it's a pretty tricky situation. Obviously, he's gone back to the WWE. I get that, but he's still technically the Never Openweight Championship. New Japan said, "Look, you're going to have to defend it," but for whatever reason, it's just like no.
Now, did he get bullied into this by WWE?
Who knows? I mean,
Like,
the way
are his hands a bit tied? Like, people like want to shit on Carl Anderson, but how much of this is his control?
I guess money, to me, it always boils down to the same thing. I think it is money. I think it's the fact that they know that WWE, as much as we hate to admit it being AEW fans, they are the number one brand. So they're going to want to go back there.
Well, I don't know. It's tough because when you eliminate one of the major places you can go, so now you only got AEW and Impact and NWA, right?
Yeah.
But the three major are AEW,
Yeah.
New Japan, and WWE. You just took out one of the main pillars of the places you can go to.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's obviously apparently these reports that it's going to be vacated, the title. Do you agree with this situation?
Oh yeah, you gotta. You know what I would do if I was New Japan? I would book it this way. I would. I don't know. It sounds WWE to me, but I would have him still booked for that match.
Yeah.
And I would have the ref count him out and award the championship.
Even though the championship's not actually there.
Well, no, you just give him a different belt and have him,
Yeah. Do you know what? I'd actually love to see that.
I'd award the other guy the champion, have the guy counted out and awarded the championship.
Yeah. Can you just imagine how much backlash that would actually cause? It'd be so much fun.
Well, it would be a kind of a stick it to Anderson, like, okay, this is how you lost your championship.
There you go. So, but yeah, obviously he's back in WWE.
Well, how much money is he getting for Saudi? He's getting that Saudi money.
That Saudi money. We know how much that is. Triple digits, possibly. So, yeah, we shall definitely see. So we've got two more stories left. Which one should we do? Okay, we'll do this one. Dominic Mysterio says he's the new generation's Eddie Guerrero. I'm going to let your opinion on this because I've got my own opinion on this at the moment.
Well, I think that's a kayfabe comment if I've ever seen one. Yeah. I don't think he actually thinks that, because like he's trying to get heat. He's trying to get the fans to boo him. But it's to say that is a bit of no one's going to believe that, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, my opinion on this is absolutely what the hell is he thinking? Is he even as good as Eddie Guerrero? I don't think so. I still think he's learning. Obviously, he's only young. He's not been in WWE.
He's there right now. He's got the boost because of his dad.
Yep.
Like he's, they gave him the golden train to the top of the mountain, and he's just there. He's kind of like David Flair right now, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's probably a fair comment, but is it a heat thing? I think it is, but to me, you've got to be really special to beat Eddie Guerrero. I mean, he's probably one of the top workers we've ever seen perform.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think that's a shoot comment at all. I don't think he believes it. I think it's but as a story writer, even to say that, I'm like, sure.
Yeah. Not really. So we've got one more story left. Now, I'm interested to get your opinion on this. Now, WWE talk about changes to the Money in the Bank. What changes do you actually ask? Now, apparently they're on about scrapping the Money in the Bank event and putting it as only a match at WrestleMania. I kind of agree with this because I feel like the actual pay-per-view lost its sentiment in a way. What do you think?
I think as a premium live event that I think it's lost a bit of its momentum, and it makes WrestleMania a little bit more special.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that was one of the things that made WrestleMania. Oh, who's gonna? And you can actually cash in at Mania sometimes and make interrupt the main event.
There you go. I mean, Seth Rollins did that. which was kind of cool. I mean, but yeah, the one thing I loved about the old Manias were Money in the Bank, because it always used to be the first match. It used to be really enjoyable, and I think it was a good little starter.
I think they tried to replace that with the Intercontinental ladder match. They had the 8-man ladder match or whatever.
The thing is, I think the IC title, I think it has lost its way as well. I mean, we could do a whole debate on this, to be honest.
I think it's like the more belts you have, the more watered down all the belts become.
Yeah. So, but when does a company have too many belts?
When you name it the All Atlantic Championship. It's like,
God damn it.
I hate that name so much. It's such a nice looking belt, but I hate that name so much.
But we've got a good champion in OC.
Well, we'll see. I would like that belt to be held not for very long. I'd like the idea of it being a little bit more hot potato, where like this belt could change hands on any single night, and they kind of get that established. Like, I'd love it if Luchasaurus won it this week, and then he only held it for 2-3 weeks, and then maybe the next guy held it for a month, and then
you can imagine the title history of that. It's like just literally 30 people in the first month.
Well, no, I don't want it to go that. I don't want it to be like the 24/7 championship, but just like make it so shorter runs, maybe a month each. Give everyone a shot of holding this thing, establishing that, their championship material.
Yeah.
That's what Pac did. He didn't hold it that long, did he?
No, he only won it at Forbidden Door, I think it was.
So it was a couple months, right?
Yeah, so Will Orange Cassidy held it for a couple of months. I love to see that. I think you're on point there. I think changing it every month would make it a bit more fun.
Yeah, like who's the champion now? Like, it doesn't have to be specifically a month. Like, change it here and there. But I like the idea of shorter title reigns.
Yeah, absolutely. It's against Luchasaurus, and I can't think of the third member who's up against this week. Ray Phoenix, that's it. So we'll definitely see if OC can come out on top, or will Ray win it? Who knows?
Now, you have something that's going on tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. So, you remember a few weeks ago we spoke about I was going on a paranormal investigation?
Yes, this is exciting.
Yes, so I can announce that I will be going on that tomorrow night. So
what time is this? What time is this happening at?
This is at 8:30 UK time, which will be roughly, what would that time be yours? Oh dear, but it's basically late for me, and then obviously that goes on until 2:30 in the morning. I will be recording some, obviously, as much stuff as we can. And what do you reckon, Canada? Shall we put it on this channel?
Yeah, let's get some of that stuff on there.
So what day shall we put it on then, shall we? So obviously I'll be coming on, putting it all together.
Well, we can make it part of the show.
Sounds good. Let's do that then. So yeah, so I will be recording some loads of footage as we can. I will put it all together, and then we'll obviously talk about it and get it on this channel. And that's tomorrow night.
And then you have a pre-recorded show tomorrow on the Magic of Wrestling.
Yes. So obviously, as we mentioned there, I'm away. There will be a pre-recorded episode with the resident expert himself, Mr. Isaacs, which I am super excited to announce. He is my co-host from December, so that's going to be really, really fun. And it's going to be a role reversal. I've asked him to bring some questions to me. I don't know what the questions are, so I'm kind of scared, but we shall definitely see.
So is this going to be a shorter episode? How long are you thinking, or you don't know?
It's going to be roughly around the same time, 45 minutes.
All right. Okay. Cool.
So, yeah, I don't know what questions you're going to give me, but it's going to be fun.
Now, if you could ask me anything, what would it be?
Ooh. If I could ask you anything, does pineapple belong on a pizza?
Absolutely, yes. What's your opinion on this, Liam Wakeland?
Of course it is. I mean, even when I order a pepperoni pizza, it's got to have pineapple on it. But yet, when I see some people and my friends are like, ugh.
No, here's my take on pineapple on pizza, because I think It's the most controversial topping on a pizza, but it's very, very, very popular at the same time.
Yeah, it's one of them where it divides opinion, and it's
But
really,
it's
really
so
interesting.
popular that it's probably the second most popular pizza.
Yes,
Like, I
that is
guess
true.
pepperoni because people are boring.
Yeah. Oh no, actually, it's margarita, as they call it.
Margarita pizza?
Yeah, it's just basically cheese. There's nothing else, just cheese.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, cheese pizza is very popular for boring
Yep.
people.
Yep.
But I like kind of like a actually, you know what's really good if it's done right is vegetarian pizza.
Really, I'm more of like a meat feast kind of guy.
Here's the thing. Meat isn't as tasty as you think.
Right.
You were just addicted to meat.
Right.
Veggies is where all the taste is. If you think about it, all the different tastes you get from onions and green peppers and like tomatoes on there, like it's just a feast of flavors. What are you
Right.
looking at?
I ain't doing nothing. You're the one who got a ping, not me.
No, you're looking at something while I'm telling you about vegetarian pizza.
I'll look at my notes. Sorry, I kind of zoned out when it comes to vegetarian.
No, I thought that. So I was looking for like one of these meat lover pizzas myself.
Mm-hmm.
Someone invited me over to their house. We got a get together, and he brought this vegetarian pizza, and I'm like, I'm looking around. There's no chicken in the other box. Nope, no meat in there either. They're both vegetarian. So I'm like, oh well. And to my surprise, it was just loaded with vegetables, and it was the best pizza I ever had. And
Is
so
it
it kind of
stuffed
changed
crust,
my mind.
deep pan or thin?
Pardon me?
Stuffed crust, deep pan or thin?
I don't like the stuffed crust. I think it's just it's too out there. You got enough cheese on it already. What are you trying to get fat or something?
Oh dear, I can't believe we've had 5 minutes conversation just about pizza.
5 minutes on pizza talk. This is a new segment of our show called Pizza Talk, and we just talk pizza for 5 minutes. Got a
Oh
little
dear.
gimmick on there, and pizzas all over the screen.
There you go. Right then, shall we get into our little segment we call The Vault?
It's time for the vault.
Do you know?
The combination. It looks like it's time to open up the vault.
Do you know the combination? Now, this is the part of the show I always look forward to because I never know what's in the vault. So, kind of dry. What's in the vault this week?
Okay, so when I was looking in the vault at first, I found a slice of ham and pineapple pizza, but it was hard as a rock. And so I just like tapped it on my knee and it broke in half. So I didn't eat it. Don't worry, I'm okay. But then I looked at the back even further. I found an old sock that I also tapped on my knee and it broke in half. So can't wear those. Then I saw right on the other side, I saw this.
Okay, that was. Can you just play that again?
Okay, so I like to show it a couple times because this is a night watch footage, I guess from the cameras, security cameras, and this is in a hospital in Peru at nighttime. So we're gonna play this again.
That orb thing really throws me because you just see it absolutely just zoom away from where
Yeah,
that.
the orb just looks so like Star Trekky, right?
That is absolutely creepy. Obviously, we've seen a video like that before where they just disappear, but wow, that is really, really weird. What do you think?
The one thing I noticed just watching this now, he has a limp. He or she has a limp.
Could be a patient then.
Yeah, it's an ex-patient who died there. The show one more time.
Did you notice it like kind of goes through the wall like a little bit?
Yeah, and the other thing you notice, he's kind of swaying his arms, like maybe his arm's injured too. And you can kind of see the fabric moving. It's really interesting. Like it might be some hospital pajamas or something. I don't know.
Like a gown or something like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But yeah, that's what we found in the vault, and we're gonna have some interesting stuff in the vault next week for sure, because that's what we do here, Wrestling with the Paranormal. The other thing I wanted to mention, I forgot about with around the effing galaxy, is we have a contest where we're giving away a Bret Hart action figure.
Oh, interesting. And how do we actually apply for this?
You give us your credit card. No, I'm just kidding. No, we have the contest on the All Effing Wrestling community, and you have to just post yourself in a picture wearing a Halloween costume, and we're going to give this away this Sunday on the All Effing Wrestling show.
I've already picked my winner. I've already seen one. I'm just saying.
The Dolly Dusty Rhodes
Yeah,
is something else.
that is one. That is definitely up there for me.
But she's also got another one that she's got in there for another. Who was she in that one? I forget. But she had another costume. But she's also got her Stone Cold costume that she's going to be posting. She's got 3 entries. So
I hope she never sees this. I'm just saying that I've got my winner.
Well, I'm not guaranteeing her anything because someone could post a costume tomorrow or tonight, and you never know. Maybe the enlightened one wins. He's got a pretty big ego on him. It's like this, and maybe he thinks he should win it.
Yeah, but I think he's getting a bit angry though now because he's got to share the spotlight with that guy on my camera.
Well, what is that guy's name?
He's called. I do not know.
Okay, so next week, you got a week
to
find out what his name is. Okay.
Okay, I will try.
You think you could do some reporter journalism and get that guy's name?
Yeah, I'll try and get a little conversation with him, but he just vanishes. He's never there.
Yeah, I'm sure that you can do some sleuthing. Maybe tomorrow night he might be there and you can talk to him.
Okay, I will try my best.
All right. So, guess what? It's
Main event.
Story time. It's story time with Canada Drive, baby.
Sounds good. So, what did we do last week? I cannot even remember.
We had our friend Austin Lee talking about his novel.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously we had Austin Lee last week. So where are we this week?
All right. Let me look in my handy dandy notebook. All right. So we're in your neck of the woods, in the UK, and this is just around. It's called what's it called? It's called Pentych.
Pentych, that's correct.
Yeah, so it's Pentych, and it's just near Wales, right?
Yeah, so it's more Wales, it's more like Scotland area, but it comes under the England thing. It's kind of confusing.
So they got some weird areas in England. They're like, you guys want to share this? Share these?
Yes, we do.
All right. So this happens February 26, 2016. So not that long ago.
No.
So the 911 dispatchers were getting strange calls all night regarding UFOs and the military. there would be strange lights, especially nearby the St. Athens military base.
Mm-hmm.
When they asked the military what was going on, the 911 operators were held on hold for quite some time. And they noticed that as they're calling, it's 2 a.m. So they thought maybe this can't be like a training operation. Why are there so many things happening at 2 a.m. with the military? Like, why wouldn't you do this during the day?
Mm-hmm.
So someone comes back on the line and tells them, yes, don't worry, everything is fine. This is just a military operation, sort of a practice round, if you will, and tells them, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. So the dispatchers get a bunch more calls that night, saying that there were soldiers around people's houses, hiding in the fields, chasing things. And the one major thing that people talked about was the pyramid UFO. And sorry, I'm just going to put the banner up. The pyramids of Pentych. So one person was talking about a pyramid UFO with red lights and was hovering near her home. And one call said there was an explosion in the woods and that there was a crashed Apache helicopter. So, like, imagine being this 911 operator. You're just hearing everything. You're like, it's almost like, your hands are tied because you're just the guy taking the calls, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure the 911 operators have obviously seen absolutely so many different things.
Yeah, there's actually a show that only had one season. It was called Paranormal 911.
Ooh, that sounds really...
And it's 911 operators and police and firemen and ambulance, and they're all dealing with things that are paranormal, which, those are the people that are going to deal with it, right? Who else are you going to call? Because there's no Ghostbusters. Anyways, so they call back something is called Athens.
Mm-hmm.
The military base in Athens, and they say, don't worry, it's okay. This is all an operation. You'll see, everything will be fine in the morning. But the morning, everything wasn't fine. Now, Mike Henbury, he noticed red spheres in the sky that night. And they formed a triangle. And this triangle turned into the pyramid ship. And it was slowly descending, and then the orbs were released. And they were just kind of on patrol, checking things out. And then there's another guy, Kaz Clark, and him and his friends were out in the garden at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And they also were noticing this drones and stuff in the sky. And then they noticed big cargo planes flying by, and they were kind of doing circles around. They were looking for something. And the jets were kind of circling. Then a red light appeared on the horizon right after the jets kind of left the area. And then there was more red lights. And then they all kind of formed this bigger red light. And then, guess what it turned into? A pyramid. So this pyramid thing starts flying towards them. And it starts spitting out these green lights. And these green lights are kind of hovering around, kind of protecting the area. And as this is going on, the cargo ships they got about 4 cargo ships and some helicopters and everything. They're kind of like watching what's going on, and they're trying to keep this pyramid ship in this area.
Yeah.
And then the pyramid, the red lights covering it start to dim. And then out of nowhere, it disappears into thin air.
Right.
Now, the question I have, is this a cloaking device like Star Trek?
It sounds like it to me. What do you think?
Well, the green light that had been spit out of it, it kind of takes off.
Interesting.
And guess what happens? The planes follow it. Backing up a little, before it disappeared, it began shooting lightning out of its corner of it into the ground. Now,
Yeah.
were they maybe ciphering something from the ground? What were they doing? I don't know. But my guess is this. They went into a cloaking device, continued their operation, and scared the planes away, or led the planes away with this green orb. So the guys who are watching all this, they wanted to go a little bit later on and check out the ground where the lightning was going down from the pyramid, but there was nothing there. What they did notice was an explosion coming from the direction of where the planes and the green light went. And this is where I will make the tag over to you.
Thank you very much. I have the tag. So a lot of my stories will obviously focus on Clark, who's obviously you mentioned it, obviously in your story there. So the following morning, Clark obviously asked a lot of his friends saying, "Did you hear the explosions?" Now, it's best to point out it's 2 explosions. Now, several witnesses claim to have heard the explosions. One came from the sky, and the second one came from the nearby forest of Lyritriant Forest, which I hope I said that right. I do apologize if I butchered it. Now, Clark went to investigate the forest. Now, when they arrived there, it didn't take long to actually see the damage. Oh, that really echoey. What happened then? It really echoed, and it really threw me off.
It was your own voice.
Oh dear! Now, obviously, upon arrival, she obviously saw the debris, loads of damaged trees, like some literally, been there. Now, it looked like all the trees had been impacted by a heavy object. Do you know, like when you throw something on it, it like literally goes like right pressed down.
Oh, kind of like when you're camping, and then you after a couple days later,
Yeah.
you move the grass and it's all yellow.
Now, the interesting thing about this, apparently, snow was only around the damaged trees. So there's only snow just in that specific point where.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. It's only snowing in that field.
Yes.
Like, how strange is that?
That is really, really strange. Now, Clark went on to visit where the lightning bolts were, which is obviously in the field. Now, she was expecting to see burnt grass. But the thing is, there was no obvious signs of damage. Only the plant were dying. So there was no signs of damage. It was like the plants were dying. It's really bonkers on this one. Now, Clark stated nothing grows in this area. So now it got the name the Bald Patch. So literally, apparently to this day, that specific point, nothing grows there. Which is really weird.
This story actually reminds me of the
He's going to shoot off. I thought he was. So anyway, while he obviously comes back in, I will obviously carry on. Now, military personnel were on the outskirts of obviously Pentych. Now, these obviously told the passers-by that they were there for training exercises, which was, this is what the military were there. They were saying, look, this is what it is. This is training exercises. Now, civilians obviously began camping behind Clark's house, but apparently the stories differed with the military. They said they were working for the cellular network or a fracking team. So apparently there were so many different stories, nobody knew what to believe, which...
I think someone's just like, let's say this. Let's say this. I
And
was
it's
going
just...
to say before my camera went off, this story really reminds me of the one that you can see on Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix right now. The thing about the lights in the sky. So check that out.
Yes, obviously you spoke about that, and you said it obviously was a good show, which is on my Netflix queue, so I will be watching that. Now, to make this story even more confusing, there was obviously a load of road closures, obviously, on the aftermath of this. Now, the authorities said it was an overturned lorry, but the number of highways which were obviously closed seemed a little bit excessive, do you know, for like an overturned lorry.
What's a lorry for people watching?
It's like a truck, big, massive truck.
Oh, a big, like maybe like a big rig.
Yes, we call them lorries over here. So what do you call them? What do you call them? Like a truck.
Diesel truck or transport truck, maybe.
Yeah, truck then. Truck. Now, obviously, Clark spent years, obviously, to try and find evidence of this.
Sorry to interrupt you. Imagine if they called Kevin Nash the lorry instead of Diesel. Oh, look, it's big lorry.
big lorries here. That is brilliant.
It doesn't work, right?
No, it's not got the same ring to it, has it? Oh, dear. So, obviously, with all this evidence, Clark obviously spent years, obviously, trying to find evidence for this to try and back it up.
Yeah.
She revisited the crash site. And I want to get your opinion on this a little bit because this really confused me. One of the crash sites apparently has high levels of radiation.
Well, yeah, it's gotta like. This is the strangest one. Like this pyramid is formed. It's like nothing, and then the lights disappear, and it's very, very strange.
Yeah, it's really, really strange. This included witness testimonies, which included people obviously claimed that obviously the houses were shook. They woke people up in hospitals. Now, all these reports. Now, this is where the theory of cover-up comes in. Apparently, all these reports by Clark are disputed by the authorities. I do kind of think this is like a cover-up kind of thing.
Oh, it's definitely cover up. Yeah, which is surprising in 2016, right?
Yeah, because it's not. What is it? 8 years ago from now?
Yeah,
So it's more recent.
Like 7 years, isn't it?
2020. Yeah, 7, 8 years.
But the thing is like, what are they doing in the UK? Like, it seems like an odd place for this to go on.
Yeah, it does. It does. Now, the reason obviously this Pentych one stands out for, and then any other like encounter, is because of the number of people involved. Now, you know, encounters normally is like 2 people. As you mentioned, obviously in your introduction, this is like an entire community which is affected. So this is what makes this story unique. Normally, you see like 2 people, 3 people, but this is like an entire community. Which, just making sure I've not missed anything. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit now what the military said about this.
All right.
So the military obviously said that they were doing training exercises, which we're going to kind of get into a little bit. Now, apparently, the military listed this as a training exercise on their website. So the green objects were apparently drop zone markers. Apparently, what do you reckon?
Oh, bullshit.
Oh, dear. And apparently, this is the other one. This one actually made me laugh. Lights in the sky were paratroopers.
That's bullshit.
apparently the lights on the thing were to indicate the position where they actually was, which is kind of
If they
weird.
say weather balloon, I'm calling.
Yeah, so this is easy, a classic case of us to cover up. Now, to back this obviously cover up here, obviously there's an operation called Chameleon, which took place apparently weeks before this incident. So they're saying that obviously the train exercise, but apparently this obviously took place. They don't like link, if you know what I mean. They're kind of like weeks apart. Now, nobody knew about obviously these. I mean, I'm sure if somebody's doing training exercises, people would know about it. It seems a bit of an odd time, as you mentioned before. 2 o'clock in the morning. It seems really odd.
Yeah.
It's really, really odd. Yeah. Now, I'm going to talk about NOTAM, which is Notice to Airmen. Now, this is obviously to prevent like plane crashes and stuff like that. Now, this is like this type of, I don't know, it's a type of report. It's to stop like plane crashes. It's kind of hard to explain. Do you know what it is? Now, these apparently are booked well in advance. But this one apparently was, it's like hours before this training exercise.
What I want to know is how did an Apache helicopter crash in a training exercise? Did they address that?
No, they did not, unfortunately.
Yes, obviously not. Oops. He wasn't very good at what he was doing. Sorry, he was new.
Oh, dear. So I'm going to obviously finish on this little bit here. Now, as I mentioned there, the authorities have obviously disputed this so much with Clark. But Clark has passed 3 polygraph tests conducted by the government. What do you reckon to that?
Well, if the government's running it, they can make up their own answers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, sorry. It looks like you passed. Good job.
But also, apparently, there's obviously been threats made towards Clark's family because of all these reports, which is kind of sad. I feel like this is just leading to cover up. I feel like somebody stumbled upon something
Well,
and they're trying to.
they weren't supposed to, but like, how are you going to shut up a whole town?
Yeah, I think that's the problem. You can't. You can shut up one person, but a whole town. It's like, what you're going to do?
Yeah, and like some people, some people didn't even report what they saw. That's the thing. How are you going to shut those guys up?
There you go. There you go.
You're talking coffee. You didn't phone the cops. You didn't call the newspaper, but you were telling your buddy over coffee, right?
There you go. It kind of like spreads, doesn't it? So
yeah. So it's just like, I think we can kind of conclude this, but I want to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Halloween season, right? What do we got? Halloween coming up to
31st.
Yeah. So I want to ask you this: aliens or ghosts? What's more scary?
Probably ghost, because I think they can just appear anywhere.
Yeah, but aliens are gonna abduct you.
Yeah, but I think the ghosts are probably frightening you more.
Ghosts can't really do anything to you.
But that's the thing, though. If you see an alien, wouldn't you be more intrigued than scared?
No, I'll be fucking scared out of this fucking thing. Get in my house. Like, I want to. Man, a ghost I can explain, right? It's a dead guy who was here, and what's going on, buddy? Like,
as long as
it's less explainable. That's what it is.
As long as you don't know what that alien did when he pulled the covers back.
Hey, you don't touch my fucking covers.
So,
how dare you? How dare you touch my covers?
Theories. Have we got any theories on this? I think we set on government cover up on this.
I think that's pretty much it. I don't think we need to go any further. It's a cover up. I think and to me, aliens are a really way more scary because they're unexplainable. You can explain a ghost like, well, it's a guy who died and blah 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 blah, and now he's back and unfinished business, whatever you say, but there's no explanations for what happens with these aliens.
Yeah, I think you're on point there. You think, as you just mentioned there with ghosts, we know the backstory, but when it comes to an alien with so much we don't know about them, you're like, who the fuck are you?
Why is your head so weird? Why are your eyes so big?
Oh
Why are you
dear.
so gray?
So, should we get into knowledge is power on this?
Knowledge is power. You're going to go first because I feel like you've got a good one today.
So, kids, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you decide to get up for the toilet and something like that, and you look out the window and you see a triangle slight thing, and you think, "Oh, I'm gonna watch it." Don't go back to bed, because 9 times out of 10, it may try and get covered up by people who is really, really powerful.
That's your knowledge is power.
That's
All
your
right.
knowledge is power.
So I'm going to go. I'm going to go Halloween with this one.
Oh, okay.
Kids, you're going out for trick or treating. Was it Monday?
Yes.
So you're going trick or treating this Monday. Now, go to the rich neighborhoods. Don't be going to no poor neighborhoods, because you want some of those full chocolate bars. You want the cans of pop. You want the good people. Don't be messing around in your own neighborhood, because you're gonna get these little Tootsie Rolls. You're gonna get these little suckers that have the wrapper off. You don't want that. So have mom or dad, and you tell them, mom or dad, because that's their names. Take me to the rich neighborhoods because I want the good stuff. You know why?
Why?
Because knowledge. I think that's probably the best thing that we do here on the show. Knowledge is power.
It's very educational, right?
Yeah, I think like kids might not know to go to the rich neighborhood. Kids might not know to not get sucked up by an alien. You might not know that. Like, oh, I'm going to go with these aliens. No. You learned here on Knowledge is Power to just stay safe. And we keep these kids in proper working order.
There you go. Very caring.
Now, what's your favorite Halloween candy?
Ooh. I love a good lollipop. I'm just going to say that.
A lollipop.
A lollipop.
Now, we mostly call them suckers here in North America. Well, more in Canada, we call them suckers. I don't think we call them lollipops. Maybe in the song "Lollipop, Lollipop." But I'm going to say my favorite, and I always try to steal all the kids' peanut M&Ms.
Oh, okay.
So I always try to raid all the peanut M&Ms out of their bags and just like, thank you, this is my cut. And,
Dear.
But it doesn't always go over so well.
No. But all jokes aside, kids, hope we all have a good Halloween.
Yes. So with that being said, tell them where you could find all our stuff.
So you can head to effingwrestling.com. You can find all our social medias on there. No, right at the bottom. There we go. You can find obviously us on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're pretty much everywhere, right?
Yeah, and you can just find them in the links at the bottom here. You don't have to go to the website. We got all of those links there.
I've still got to plug it there, right?
Yeah, you're trying to pull a JFB.
Hey, I always trying to learn, but then obviously don't forget, we obviously got a Pro Wrestling Tee store. You can head to prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling. We have the Wrestling with the Paranormal shirt. We've got a effing wrestling nice little shirt what Canada Dry's got there. We've got the Magical Wrestling shirt. We've got the All Effing Wrestling shirt. And I think we've got, is that it? Is it any more? I forgot that.
Yeah, we got that Hulk Hogan style shirt, and we got the new fingers. We got shirts coming out of our ass.
We got, as Vince once said, we got some good shit.
And as always, you can also head to Pro Wrestling Tees /Adrian Adonis, because we run a shop. And we're thinking up ideas for new shirts for Adrian Adonis. So you can check that out as well. And with that, I guess I bid you adieu. You want to bid them adieu?
I will always say my favorite line, Magic Man, out.
And remember, keep on wrestling with the paranormal.
And remember to have your cat spayed or neutered. Help control the pet population.
And sometimes you want to get your dog fixed too.
But
And
cats are more
remember-
important, though, right?
Keep on wrestling. No, that's not what I'm saying. Remember, just keep fighting.